bam, 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 bam.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution! Brought to you by GhostBed.com. Man, that's great, James. What is that?
Isn't that great?
Swell.
I think it's a commercial.
No, not at all.
Bam, 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 bam.
Sounds like you're at a discoteca in 1979.
I wish. I wish I was.
We missed you, kids. We're back.
Oh, we're back.
We're back.
You're welcome.
We were in deep in the heart of Texas. We're in
We
Austin,
were.
Texas. We had some business meetings.
Sure.
We were conducting some business down there, and now we're back. Now we're back here.
Now we're back.
Jabes. And
how do we feel about it? So being back, I'm fine with. The trip, as most people were like, oh my gosh, you get to get out, you get to go to restaurants.
Right.
How was the plane?
Party. No. So, first of all,
No.
it was a work trip, so we didn't really get to rage that much. But that was my first time on a plane in 2 months, I think. Or maybe 3, actually.
Well,
Beginning of March was the last
we
time I flew.
bookended.
Ironically, yeah.
Yes,
That's weird.
we
We were in
bookended
Austin
this
before.
virus
Mhm.
to the same place
Yes.
the day before they shut everything down.
Yeah.
So like the 12th or
Yeah.
13th, we came back. We went to the last concert
Yep.
that was ever had.
Yeah.
We went to the last like bar that wasn't depressing,
Yeah.
dinner that didn't feel weird, and then went back there. And I guess my idea was that it was going to be open, right? We're back.
Texas is back, yeah.
We're back.
Yeah.
They aren't. So
Well, I think they're at 50% capacity, and we'll get into that in a minute because I understand why the restaurant owners aren't opening.
no.
Because it's hard, man. Yeah, how are you going to pay your staff and all that other shit, right? But let's talk about the flight out there
Okay.
to start all of this off. I have not worn a mask at all throughout any of this bullshit.
No, you haven't.
I am strongly against all of that, especially for somebody who does not fit the age range and everything else. I've never worn one, to be honest with you. I haven't worn a mask since Halloween as a little kid. Anything over my face. It was mandatory that we wear a mask on the plane when we got on the plane. That lasted, what would you reckon, 2 minutes for me, 3 minutes for me, and then I took that thing off?
Yeah, definitely.
Once we got on the plane. And I was like, oh, all right, cool. Everything we had talked about last week of like, all right, sweet, we're going to get off work, have a couple drinks on the plane. No. They do not serve any drinks
Anything.
whatsoever. So not even just liquor.
Not even a pretzel.
Not water, not pretzels, not food, not anything. And the stewardesses don't get up. So that's it.
That's it.
They preach about the first 5 minutes of the flight is now safety precautions and all that stuff. And then how to wash your hands and stay not close to people. So the flight was, I don't know, about halfway full, but they had kind of spaced everybody out. There's no reason for coach and or first class. So if you're flying,
Don't get
first class because it doesn't matter. You don't get anything from it, and you're distance away from everyone else that it's like there's no point in it at all whatsoever. I guess unless you want to check a free bag, free bags, but it's kind of it. We were on a very short business trip, so it was like, I didn't have a lot of bags, and I had to pretty much carry on at that point, and that was it. And it was very strange to see everyone flying in mask, covered up. It felt like all those people that I used to make fun of coming out of LAX and Los Angeles when I used to fly with all those Asians back and forth out of LAX because they were masked up the entire flight, right? And every time they got on my plane, I was like, man, imagine living your life in my head. Is what I said. Imagine living your life in that kind of fear of pollution or germs or whatever, that you're wearing a mask all day long. We saw some Asians in full-on fucking hazmat suits, by the way, walking in the airports.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was very sobering to look around and be like, shit, our country is now turning into that country.
Yeah. So I wanted it to be, as we all know, like this great escape and to see that there are people still doing it and we're out, we're back.
Right.
And it definitely wasn't that. It was actually the opposite for me. And especially on the plane, it was really hard. And thinking about it today, I don't want to be a downer or anything, but everything that I like about life and people, as far as like being around people, being close to people, being social, being like going out in a restaurant and like just feeling this collective, everyone's taking a break and having a good time. And even if you don't talk to anybody, you just feel that energy. And ever since we got on the plane, I've had this feeling that people are just scared of me, like scared of me because I'm just scared of me and other people. But that's how I felt. It's like they're scared of me because I may have some virus and
that
everyone is looking at me weird and you weird and we were like 3 feet too close to someone instead of 6 feet, and they're looking back and they're afraid. And it's everything. Like, it is probably the most depressing thing now after being out there and thinking that everything was going to be back. On top of that, all of the riots and looting and protesting, which I'm sure we'll get into. Yeah. But that's another fear-based situation that people, are just afraid. Like, the cops are afraid of black people, and black people are afraid of the cops, and now the protesters are afraid of these, Antifa or whatever that's inciting the violence when they're just trying to have a peaceful protest, and everyone is just so scared. And
we'll get into that, but I want to go step by step through what happened and then what led up to all of it, because everything we talked about last week pretty much wasn't happening, right? And not to interrupt you, but even getting off the plane, right? You get there and the people next to me bitched about me not wearing a mask. Of like, why isn't he wearing a mask, right?
We got snitched on.
We got snitched on by this Indian man and his boy,
his baby boy,
son. Yeah,
his baby boy was about 20 something.
Yeah, 23, whatever, right?
Can't you make them put their masks on? They said.
Yeah, it was a long flight, so I was just like, no, dude. And I'm writing. I got the next book coming out, the next St. James book coming out at Thanksgiving. I'm writing, and I'm like, man, I can't see shit. I'm not, and I'm breathing on myself. It's fucking weird, and I'm like, we're fine. And it wasn't. The stewardess came over to him and was like, look, this is not mandatory. It's recommended by the CDC, but we're not forcing people to do it. So I was like, cool, fuck you. When we got off the plane to that dude, I was like, you snitch.
Down the hallway, like as we're walking, the tube.
The tube.
All of it's a tube, right?
The terminal.
It's either a fart tube or a hot tube.
The terminal, yeah.
The hot tube, you walk down to get to the fart tube that takes you up into the air.
Yeah.
So we went down the hot tube.
Yeah.
Or we went back out the hot tube, and we're like, all right, snitch. Yeah. What you doing, snitch?
And then I go to
They kept looking back, and they were scared, and they were walking faster because they were afraid now.
Yeah. But walking through the airports of Austin. Austin's a big airport. It's a decent-sized airport. All the restaurants are closed. Everything was closed. All I kept thinking of is how many people are out of work right now. Go to get the rental car. While you were waiting for bags, and usually I'll go get the rental car whatever city it is. I'll rally it around and come and get you, right? Mm-hmm. Go to get the rental car. Nobody there. All they said was, hey, man, you know what the rental car lines, you have to wait and sign like 900 forms, and they've got to ask you X, Y, and Z. None of that, at least. They was just like, hey, so here's your contract. Can you just sign it at the gate and get out of there? And I was just like, yeah.
Sure.
They're like, where's the car? And they were like, keys are in it. A16 or whatever it was. And I was
wow.
oh, all right. But all I kept thinking was, man, this is super easy and not usually how it is.
Yeah.
But that's more jobs that are probably now going to be eliminated. If it runs that smoothly.
Okay, well, that's a whole
right,
other
but
situation.
This is just going through what I didn't think it was, right? Because I thought, all right, people are back, right? Text us, everybody's back.
Yeah.
Come and get you. We go to the hotel. We check in at the hotel. Everybody's wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
They've got sanitizer. We had to stand back like 6 feet from the fucking window or the check-in thing or whatever. It's a nice hotel. It was an Omni hotel, and I was just like, oh, all right, cool. Instead of water being out, there's hand sanitizer, and you're like, all right, man, this is still so weird, right? We get in, start our day, went to meetings, and every meeting was like that. And when we woke up, all of the restaurants downtown were still closed.
Yeah.
There was coffee in the lobby. There was one coffee shop that was open. Every other restaurant was closed. They still had takeout, even though they were allowed to be at 50% capacity. But like I was saying at the top, if you are a restaurant owner or a waiter, you're probably making more on unemployment. Why are you going to open up a restaurant for 50% capacity, and then you've got to socially distance people 6 feet out from that? Later on that evening, you and I had a dinner meeting at a restaurant. You had to wear a mask in, right?
And to your table.
But once they sit you can take your mask off. What's the fucking point of that? I didn't understand. But it was nice being at a restaurant with people, and
I guess
I will say that once you take your mask off and you sat down and you looked around that everybody didn't have a mask on, you're like, oh, I feel normal. But then your waiter comes, hang on, but then your waiter comes to the table and they're wearing masks, and you're like, hi, sir, can you have a whatever? And somebody said it best in our group. They were like, the weird thing about it is I can't tell if he's smiling at me, if he enjoys me, or if he's being polite, if he's not. And I was like, you're right. It's kind of like this faceless person that's just coming up to your table and asking for shit. And then they leave, and then you come back and you don't really know about them, or I didn't even know what they look like. That guy went out and committed a murder that night, and they said, hey, he was your waiter that night. Could you pick him out of a lineup? No, I couldn't. Everybody was wearing a mask. I don't know what anybody looked like. And that was strange. You and I went to 6th Street after that, which is typically booming. And that felt more normal to me. I don't know if it did to you.
No.
It didn't?
No.
Because at least people
were
out
trying to say.
And in the streets. Yeah. And I want to hear your take on that, because with 6th Street, to me, I was like, all right, there's still people out partying, raging. Some of our bars that we liked were open, and it was just like, all right, this felt normal. But that was kind of about it for the first 2 days for me. What about you?
Yeah, so just like I was saying, so even the restaurant, I would rather not go than go in that way. And 6th Street, the couple bars that were open and the people that were out, it sort of felt like we were the lepers, or we were the degenerates that, you know what I mean, that went out still. And then the riots and protests were kind of going on that night and definitely the next day. So
yeah,
I think I would rather not go to a restaurant than go in that way.
So you want to wait until it's 100% open, nobody's wearing masks and all that other stuff?
Yeah, I can't, you say sometimes, or I feel sometimes like I'm just like blissfully unaware, or just, I'm not uninformed. I just refuse to be scared. I refuse to walk around afraid and scared, because there's just no point.
Same.
Yeah,
same.
So that's kind of what it was out there for me, was just everyone is still very scared of the virus. And then on top of that, they're now scared of everything else. So
this was on a Friday.
That's just sort of what it felt like.
Yeah.
And I felt everyone just being afraid, and there was no place that you could go that people were like, okay, we're good. So it just kind of made me feel like, all right, well, until people are not walking around scared of me because I might have a virus, like, I don't know.
So
I don't know what I want to do, to be honest with you.
To me, here's where it turned for me, right? Friday night in Austin, at least. I can't tell you what was going on in other cities. I can only tell you about the city that I was in. In Austin, Texas, Friday night, yes, there was riots in other cities, whatever. it wasn't there yet, right? And so once it hit on Saturday, and there was, we ended up going, and there was protests and thousands of people shutting on the highways and all that other stuff. And then we went to another restaurant that night for another meeting. That restaurant was jumping and off, and it was like, all right.
Oh yeah.
If millions of people are now in the streets in every single city around the United States, which they were, no one's social distancing.
No.
People wearing masks because they wanted to loot shit. It was not because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
It felt done to me after that at that restaurant that night where I was like, I looked around, everybody was partying. No table was blocked off. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's true.
Not one table was blocked off. And I was like, oh, I guess we're all done with the coronavirus now. That's the way it felt to me.
That would be great, but I don't know.
It has to be at this point because what are you going to tell people? Hey guys, let's protest at 6 feet apart. It's not how a protest works.
Yeah.
So we're all done with it. And the way the media switched, I have not heard one single word about the coronavirus since the riot started whatsoever. I haven't heard one single news anchor on any station across the board say, let's practice 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
Let's start
I
washing
can
our
see that
hands.
they're not practicing social distancing. No.
CNN reporters have stopped wearing masks when they do reporting. That's not a thing now anymore. No one cares. I've never seen a worldwide pandemic disappear overnight than I did Friday going into Saturday. And I was like, oh, all right, cool. Why the fuck were we in our houses scared this whole time? When millions and millions of people are out now. And clearly everybody's fine because it's still going on, right? This has been going on for about a week at this point.
Right.
So what the fuck, bro? That being said, I think that'll bring more things back faster after that, where it's just like, what are you going to say? Like the dickhead governor of North Carolina, Roy Cooper, what are you going to say? There's been protests in Charlotte, Raleigh, including downtown Wilmington, I found out. It was like 500 people or something like that. What are you what's your reasoning now for shutting down bars and restaurants and keeping everything closed when there's millions of people out in the street? Lift it. It's fucking stupid at this point. I guess the only thing you're keeping it intact for, I guess, is maybe you don't want their places to get looted now at this point. So it's all strange to me. But the strangest part about the entire weekend was the protesters who were there. Because in Austin, for us, it started Saturday afternoon. And I went down and got coffee for us. You were getting ready in the shower. And I saw like 12 protesters asking for directions at the front desk of how to get to a protest, right?
Right.
And they were all dressed in the same kind of, they were white people. I couldn't tell their age because they were wrapped up like fucking little terrorists. Clearly Antifa. And they've got these generic signs that are made. They look pre-made. They look too nice. Like the whole thing was eerie and strange to me. And they were from out of state. I think they were from Oregon. Is what they had said, and they're asking for directions on a protest in Austin, Texas. And I was like, it didn't really dawn on me, because I just kind of woken up and was getting some coffee, and I was just like, all right. It didn't really dawn on me till later. And then once I started seeing the violence pile up on the news, because a majority of these protests have been peaceful, and then you've had these white Antifa assholes who are walking. It's the same gear. They're all wearing the same gear for all of it, man, and they've got backpacks on. Why are you wearing a backpack to a protest? That makes no sense to me. Unless you have hammers or bats or some form of equipment in there that you're going to fuck shit up with, why? Why are you dressed up like that? It doesn't make any sense to me. If you're trying to go out like as a white protester and protest with black people peacefully, don't you want them to see your face? Hey, man, here's who I am, and I'm with you, and I support you and all of this other shit. And it over and over and over again across every city that we saw on the news Saturday nights, it was the same people that were rioting and fucking breaking shit and smashing cop cars and all that other. And we saw it firsthand in Austin. And then the next day, gone, vanished. Sunday, they were all out of town. And I ran into a cop, and I was like, hey, man, where'd everybody go? And he was like, they went to a different city because they're not from here. They're not from Austin. They're not from Texas. And they were clearly going somewhere else. And they had he said that they instructed people to take down the graffiti and all that stuff, which I don't know what they used on that shit, but it was gone.
Dude, it was gone
in like an hour. But the whole thing was really, really fucking strange to me. And, you know, it was not what I thought. But we're out there in the streets, and everybody's out there in the streets now. So let's be done with the COVID thing and try to figure out the situation that's going on now, because no one's social distancing. Nobody's doing any of that shit. And they're like, oh, wait till the numbers come out and see what the COVID cases are like now. It's been a week. You would have had those numbers by now.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But the entire trip was strange. There were a lot of places in Texas that were open, and look, the gyms were open. You couldn't get to them because of the riots.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I might loot my own gym tonight just because I want a 1 hour workout sesh. I'll pay for the window. Like, I'll leave you money for the window and everything. Yeah, I'm going to pay for it. Just want to go in and get out, just blast my pecs for an hour, dude.
Sure.
This is the fucking most out of shape I've ever felt of like 3 months of doing nothing. And I know everybody at home is like, I don't understand. Why don't you work out inside your garage? Dude, impossible with small children. It's impossible just to get out of the house to go to the work.
Yeah, go to the work.
The work, yeah.
Anyone with small children, our work meeting was with 2 single, no kids people, and they were like way in such better shape than the last time we saw them, right?
Yeah.
And they were just like, well, you know, just this quarantine, like, you figure, what else can I do? Like, might as well come out of this better than I was before, right? Yeah. And I was just like, So when you have 2 kids and you work, and they're homeschooling and they're home all the time, like, you are going to come out of this worse than you've ever been.
Yep. Yeah.
Mentally and physically.
If you have a
both
family,
mentally and physical.
Yeah, if you have a family, you're definitely coming out of this
broken. You're coming out of this broken. On the edge of being broken, right?
Yeah.
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 So, but I'm happy for them.
Good
you
for
know
them.
what I mean? Gosh, and they were just like, you know, it's like, what else can I do with all this like spare time? You know, it's like, might as well just like work out, you know, and get outside and like.
Yeah. Gross. I will say this. On the flight back, though, now that it's BYOB, you can just walk into whatever store is at your airport and buy like 8 Trulies.
Oh, yeah, and just
White
like.
Claw and just crush those on the plane. Nobody's going to say shit to you.
Yeah, they give you a little glass.
Yeah, they brought over a cup for me, and they were like, sir.
What was she saying to you?
She said, sir, I need you to pour that in a cup. It was a White Claw, and I go, oh. Because there was an announcement that said you can bring your food and drink on the plane. And I go, why this in particular? And she goes, well, we have a license with Truly. And I was
right. Okay. Well, you should have gotten Truly then.
Well, they didn't sell it. I like Truly more than White Claw. Everyone knows that I'm a little Truly girl.
Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that. But yeah, she was just asking me for like branding purposes. She was like, we just can't let people know that, you know, we might have given you White Claw instead of Truly. And I was like, oh. No problemo. But made it back safely, and then you come back and all of the shit is shut down here. Texas is still better. They've got everything more together and everything. The restaurants that are voluntarily closed, I understand for their workers and then for them themselves. But the restaurants we did go to were 100% capacity. That Italian joint and then that Mexican restaurant.
You have to. There's no, you know, and that's what, like, Tom Colicchio was saying, because with his organization, like, you can't open at 50%.
No.
Like, you just can't. You're going to lose money.
Yeah.
So the only way to open is to open all the way or not at all.
Yeah, but everybody was out in the streets in Austin enjoying the river and kayaking and all that other stuff, and that was nice to see. So Texas is definitely way further along than North Carolina. Jesus
definitely.
Christ. But yeah.
Definitely.
And then today is Blackout Tuesday. Obviously, that's the title of our show. And if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hammer that like button so we can pop up their little tiny algorithm on the charts and maybe get seen by some other people who've never seen the show. Blackout Tuesday on Instagram was created kind of by the music industry. Everybody's just asking to post a black square. not just for Black Lives Matter, by the way. And I've been getting a lot of that because I posted one this morning. It was weird to wake up to Instagram and I thought my Instagram was broken.
Oh shit!
Because everything was, and I was like, oh no pictures
No, that's
are popping
the
up.
point. So it's
No pictures are popping
meant
up.
to be to take a pause, to take a second,
Yes,
to just sit back
and
listen instead of just talking, posting. Just like stop.
Yes,
doing it.
And I've gotten some comments already on my Instagram. Some of them I just deleted where they were like, why, this Black Lives Matter thing and whatever. Like, look, first of all lives matter. You're not going to fucking hear any different out of me ever. And it's not just about that. It's about taking a pause from social media itself and every voice that's screaming, because right now my Instagram, and I'm sure everyone's else's, right? Everybody's social media platforms are. It is screaming for different reasons and different things and telling everybody else what to think and why they should think it. And to me, I look at that black square as a symbol of like, hey man, let's just all take a break from screaming at one another, trying to get a point across about whatever we believe in or whatever we think is right or how we should talk to people and everything else. And just scroll, like, look, I don't have to go to Instagram today, which is nice. I don't have to. Shit, I wish this went on forever. I think you should even take it a step further. I think all the media networks, every single media network, if they were truly in this as well, go dead air. Just go dead air for a day and see what happens. Just have other people talk to other people in real life, your neighbors, your friends, everything else. Don't watch anything. Don't look at anything. With us in a podcast, right, we do this every single day, and it's our job. But it's also voluntary of whether or not you want to click on the link and watch it or listen to it, whatever. It is not. We're not on CBS. We're not on Fox. This isn't jammed in someone's face where they, it's on in the background or whatever. And we appreciate everybody who does listen and watch our show. But I think it's a nice gesture of like, all right, let's just all take a day off from fucking screaming at each other or trying to get some point across. Police-wise, politics, anything you could possibly name at this point where it's just like, cool. And I also don't have to read like posts about inspiration today, which is great.
Really great. It's really great that we don't have to hear Madonna tell us.
Anyone. And that's the other part of all of this is like.
Just everyone needs to shut the fuck up for a second and listen.
Yeah, listen or just talk to one another. Just go out and talk to people. We're here just to talk to people too, where it's just like, hey man, just chatting about life. Fuck man, I even had like 4 or 5 friends hug me over the weekend in Texas for the first time, and I was just like, oh man, I missed that. Things like that. And again, with the protests, like in my opinion, I'm not going to go too far down a conspiracy hole here, but in my opinion, because I did it on Drinkin Bros the other day with Dakota Meyer yesterday, Medal of Honor recipient Dakota Meyer, I think most of these protests have been peaceful and started that way, and I think Antifa and some of these, I think this is definitely funded by a higher power that we don't know about to create and cause destruction and make it look like our country is more torn apart than it is. Because I mean, in a case with the George Floyd thing, everybody is united on that. I have not heard one single person say the cops were justified in doing this. I think everybody is united on this front. And the people that are causing this, like, and I've seen a bunch of black celebrities who are out there in their communities trying to protect their communities, posting, taking fucking spray paint cans from Antifa members and shit like that, where it's just like, motherfucker, stop defacing my neighborhood. Stop stealing shit from my neighborhood. Stop breaking cars in my neighborhood.
Because they're not even from there.
They're not from there. It's a funded organization that is paying for these people, these white fucking fascists, to go and fuck shit up because what you don't believe in capitalism or you don't believe in whatever, and this has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the black community. Sure, it has nothing to do with you and Antifa, whatever bullshit politically you believe in. So I'm encouraged by seeing those videos on a day-to-day basis where it's just like, hey man, So they're standing up for your community, where it's like, get these fucking people out of here and identify them. Hopefully they all get arrested, and we can start figure out where these people are coming from. I know Minnesota's working on it now, where the mayor or the governor came out and said, look, 80% of the arrests that have been made are people that are out of state. And we've called the feds in to investigate this and try to figure out where this is and who is funding this. There's also been a lot of videos being posted of white Antifa protesters who are paying off black citizens to go and fuck shit up as well. And it's like those videos are going around everywhere. The bricks, the pallets of bricks that are magically dropped off in some of these cities downtown, where it's like, who carried that down there? You know how heavy a pallet of bricks is? Like,
yeah, I think it was dropped off, right?
It looked like it was just dropped off in the middle of the street in major cities like Philadelphia and everything else. And it was just like, hey, man, who had the fucking time to do that? And where's the security cam footage? Pull that footage, see who dropped off those bricks.
Yeah.
Nobody's just dropping off a pallet of bricks right in the middle of the street in downtown Philadelphia and being like, whoop, yeah, maybe I had the wrong address. It's not like Dazed and Confused where the beer keg showed up at somebody else's house.
Yeah,
yeah. Inconvenience for you. Wrong, Mr. Pickford. Sorry about that. No. Somebody is clearly doing this and funding it, and it makes the black community look like shit. And it's being leveraged for political reasons and not anything to do with the death of George Floyd. And it sucks. It sucks. But that's been going on all weekend, and we'll see how long this lasts. And I'm not sure. Dakota said yesterday he thinks it'll go on a while, and he thinks it'll go on another week. I think it will go on as long as it's funded. Most people are getting back to work, and most of these – look, May 30th was one of the big dates for a lot of states to reopen up, and I think a lot of people are getting back to work. My guess is this. It will go on as long as this is funded, and we'll see. If they're – whoever is doing this, and they're going to try to push this up until the election, that's going to be a long fucking 5 months. And boy, that would suck. Because I don't want to see this shit every day. You know?
See what shit?
I don't want to see people rioting and looting, and like I don't want to see fucking white Antifa members breaking shit to cause havoc when you could be having peaceful protests. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Like just me personally. I don't want to see it go on for our country. And I don't want to see it go on for the black community, because when you're all wrapped up in black hoods and scarves and fucking gloves and shit, you could misidentify those as, oh man, those are black people just fucking looting, you know? And it's like, no, man, the closer and closer you look at those videos, once they're pulling off their shit, and some of them are going out there, pulling off the mask, pulling off the thing. And it's like one of them yesterday, the video that went viral was like a gray-haired, like 45-year-old man. And you were like, what the fuck are you doing? Wrapped up in head to toe black gear. And it looked like a typical like hipster. You know what I'm saying? Because some people have written in and they were like, hey, is this white supremacist? No. I don't personally believe so. And talking to some of my friends in the FBI, they don't either. And here's why. They're too poor and they're too dumb to organize like this. They don't have enough money to travel around city to city to city to fuck shit up like this. They're just not well funded enough, and there's just not enough of them in America.
Right.
I think the last stat I read was there was something like 28,000 like white supremacists that were actually registered to whatever their bullshit organization is. That's not enough people to go to all of these cities and go to all of these events, and they're poor. They don't have the money to be funded like this. They just don't to keep going around to all of these cities. So it's got to be something else. And hopefully, you know, as time goes on, we'll get to the bottom of it. The problem is you can't really trust the media.
And I'm not sure if that's the most important thing right now.
It's
but
not.
yeah,
but
like,
I'm
so
telling you.
But
I'm telling you what I'm personally tired of.
Yeah. So
That's just me. Like I don't mind if the protests go on, to be honest with you. But I want it in a peaceful manner, and I don't want to see white people out there fucking shit up, all dressed head to toe in black, because you don't know who's who when situations like that go down, especially at nighttime, and other people can be blamed for it, where it's just like, man, it feels funded by a bigger organization to me. And that's what I hope doesn't go on anymore.
Right.
But that's my personal hope.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Hopefully, as time goes on, I think another thing that would help is if the 3 other officers were arrested as well. Because they have not been. They've been fired, but they haven't been arrested. And looking at all angles of that video, those 3 guys were accomplices to me. So I think that would go a long way. But yeah, that's kind of been the weekend thus far. And, people should be back at work. I would say it'll probably slow down throughout the week. There is still a lot of cities that are laid off. Like last night I was checking it out, and a lot of it was going on in New York City. Well, New York is one of the hardest hit by COVID. They're the slowest to open up. So yeah, people have nothing to do. So I think those will probably continue. I know New Jersey and Philadelphia are kind of in the same boat, or not Philadelphia, but Pennsylvania, are kind of in the same boat. So yeah, I think you'll see protests go on in some of the bigger cities, Los Angeles, that still aren't open yet. But hopefully as time goes on, not only will those other 3 cops be brought to justice, but people will be getting back to work, and hopefully we can try to move on with some normalcy. And some understanding about what just happened. But that's my hope. And you know what you can do with that, James? You can wish in one hand and shit in the other.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But we got some sponsors who pay for this whole shit wagon to be on the air, James. First and foremost, ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. They're on for the rest of the year. They're here. They're still doing their Memorial Day sale that will last until June 5th. June 5th is when that's going to happen at midnight, and you get 30% off of bundle packages. That's the biggest deal they got, Jabes. And then everything else is 25% off. And if you get a mattress, you get 2 free pillows as well. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Today, as always, they got the 36-month pay-as-you-go program. No interest in that. Never any interest, and it's still applicable with all of them deals. Next up, we got StrikeForceEnergy.com.
Boom, 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 boom. Shabloinkers.
Shabloinkers, Jabes. Strikeforce Energy is the premier energy drink in the biz. 4 amazing flavors: grape, orange, orange, and lemon. No carbs, no sugars. And if you're fighting through it, like a parent like I am, you got to get Strikeforced up every day. Because it's mandatory right now to keep the engines going, James. No calories in that shit either. I don't know if I ever said that. There's no calories in this. And they ship it to you. Here it is. Tasty, tiny little tin pouch. Rip it open and squeeze it in any liquid available. And they'll ship it right to your house for free. Go to StrikeForceEnergy.com today. Next up, we got Postmates, Jabes. Oh, promo code REVOLUTION at StrikeForceEnergy.com.
Okay.
20% off. Postmates is on.
It's a big one.
It is. Because, look, a lot of these restaurants, including just getting back from Texas, aren't open. They're still doing takeout and things like that. So the takeout delivery fees are free. You get $100 in free delivery fees with the promo code REVOLUTION at Postmates. Big fan of them. They're the best in the biz doing it right now. They're gigantic. They're a gigantic sponsor for us. Jabes. Go to Postmates today, the app, Revolution.
If you're using another
$100 in free delivery, jobless, which is rad. And then last but not least, we got Manscaped.com.
Oh, interessant.
Yeah. The big one. Everybody was asking me about that because we've been doing this for 2 months now, and people are starting to order their kits. It's for shaving up your pubes. I'm going to be realsies with you here. And you need
Works for guys and girls.
And girls.
Both.
I know.
Just so you guys know.
And it's great. And it's one of those things where once it's out, first of all, the kit's amazing. It comes with a DOP kit, even ball deodorants, which is nice. But it's one of those things where once it's out on the counter and you're like, oh, shit, why hasn't there been this product before for that? Because let's face it, it's the summer heat. You got to start shaving up down there. Otherwise, it's the jungle, baby. You're going to die. That should be their slogan. Go to manscaped.com. Promo code REVOLUTION gets you 20% off.
Father's Day's coming up, you know.
Yeah. Get your dad a fucking pube shaver. There's no better way to tell your father.
Can you imagine?
Hey, man.
Hey, bro.
Hey, Dad. I saw your pubes
brother.
the other day.
Yep.
You should shave up, dude.
Yep.
You should take that 4-inch growth down to 1. It'll add an extra 1.5 inches to your dick.
Welcome, Dad.
Go to
Manscaped.com.
manscaped.com. Promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. I am a big fan of that, Jabes. I'm a huge fan. Schools are going to be back, though. Texas announced they're going to have schools in the fall.
Okay.
One of the first states to do it. And I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
What if some of these states don't, though?
I think some won't.
You think so?
I don't know. It depends on how strict they're going to be with kids, especially elementary age, trying to follow these CDC guidelines. It might just be better to not go, but right. We'll see. We'll definitely see. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty hopeful. Again, with everything that's going on and nobody's social distancing anymore, I don't see a reason not to now. Like, because what's the next thing? Whatever the next thing is that pops up that people are going to be pissed off about, you're going to go out into the streets again. Nobody's going to be wearing masks. Like, I think we're all done with the coronavirus thing. So hopefully the schools will open. I think there'll be a couple states that hold out where you're just like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to fucking do whatever I want to do. Blah blah blah. California's probably one of them. So, yeesh, we'll see. But it was positive news to see Texas was going to be open up and kids were going to be going back to school, and sure. I'm amped about that. Carole Baskin is in the news again today. This is breaking news. Breaking news.
We have a Baskin update.
The judge in that case has awarded her the entire zoo of Joe Exotic, so she now owns the zoo.
Wait, what happened to Jeff Lowe?
Gone.
How?
So the land.
Need more info.
The land was owned by Joe Exotic and his mom. They got sued. Joe Exotic had given over the rights, but legally they were not protected because that lawsuit happened before.
Okay.
So legally they were not protected by that. Jeff.
Wow,
yeah.
Jeff Lowe.
Jeff made a statement today that said, we've been planning for this, and we actually knew. We figured this was going to happen at some point. We weren't sure why. And he's been building, like in the documentary, he's been building his own zoo.
Oh, yeah.
And they named it Tiger King Zoo. And so...
Brills.
Yeah, really leaning into it.
Brilliant.
Really leaning into it.
Do you ever think about maybe doing the scarf and hat look? Do you know what I'm saying? The scarf under.
Yeah.
It's not scarf, bandana.
Well, here's the thing.
Bandana
it's
hat.
Hot. I wear a bandana a lot, actually, because it's hot.
I know, but I really think maybe next show you should just try it out.
I'll give it a goesies.
Put your little bandana under the hat and see what that does for you. Yeah. Because it might change your whole outlook. No, more of like the Jeff Lowe style.
I've done it before, for sure.
Jeff Lowe. Oh, yeah. Or like a Bret Michaels.
Well, Bret Michaels started it. Toby Keith is in it.
Toby Keith is in
that
that group.
Yeah.
And Jeff Lowe.
I enjoy a bandana because I'm hot all the time. Like, this hair is out of control. You've got to cut my hair. Gotta cut my fucking hair.
So salons are open, and anytime you want to make a...
I will. Do you want me to?
I mean...
Yeah, I'll go, for sure.
I want to move away from doing your hair.
Great. I will go in a second.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That would be great for me.
Okay. Yeah, I went in Texas last time I was there.
Yeah.
I got a haircut, so yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, the bandana look, I'm all about the bandana because I'm hot, I run hot, and sweat, and it's nice to keep it's nice to keep the hair out of your face,
right?
When you're out in public, it also makes me feel like I am
a man. Yeah.
In Woodstock, 1969, not the 1990,
or Goonies,
not the 1994 one. Or Josh Brolin and Goonies. So I'm into it, but Jeff Lowe is doing it for an entirely different reason, and it's very specific. He is made himself into a biker.
Yeah. That's what I'm just saying. I'm like, just try it out. See how you feel. Do you know what I mean? There's some things that you try sometimes, and it just like really makes it just turns your whole thing around, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe give it a little try-zy tomorrow.
We'll see. For Jeff Lowe, Jeff made a statement today that just said, considering Carole spent approximately $2.5 million chasing her $1 million judgment, we congratulate her on her new acquisition of 16 acres in rural Oklahoma. That's what Jeff Lowe's statement was.
And that's what that bandana does.
Carole
Do you know what I
Baskin.
mean? It makes it so you can say stuff like this.
Hang on.
Real funny.
His end statement was a tip of the cap, sir. Tip of the cap, sir. He says, the possibility of human remains being buried on this land should make her feel right at home.
Oh my gosh, perfect.
Yeah.
When did Jeff Lowe become like the star of the show? Wow.
Man.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so this is going to go on for a while, I think. This whole Tiger King thing. And,
Richard,
and
bandana that dong? Okay.
Yeah, I'll wrap a bandana around my dong for sure.
Okay, Richard.
For sure, dude. I'm totally into that. I'll put
and then like a little hat, maybe.
bee bandana on my dong and a hat. When it gets hot enough, you know, it's nice just to run free. When we were leaving the house this morning.
What?
When we were leaving our house this morning, it was nice to see kids just run around naked in the backyard where you're just like,
oh
yeah.
You
know? What did they put? Soap. They put dish soap on the trampoline, and they were like, great, here we are.
Yeah.
Naked, soaped up, just jumping on a trampoline, and it was just like, man.
Life.
I know.
Right?
I miss those days.
Yeah. And you're like, I wish I could just bandana that dong and get out
Bandana
there,
that dong and get out in the world.
Yeah.
That's why I got cloth seats in my truck. Everybody's like, I don't understand why you don't get leather seats. Too hot. It's too hot for me. Therefore, if I can ever just walk into my car buck naked, can't lay it on the hot leather.
Sure.
Got to get it on that cloth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So.
Gotcha. Yeah. Understood. But yeah. Oh, there's Georgia's putting some banana hammocks up there.
Oh,
maybe.
put a nice Can you put that on the screen? Yeah, why not? That's a nice bee hammock.
A bee hammock.
To wear.
Yeah. Look at that.
Thong panties. Just a nice banana hammock
that
right
string.
there. $16.79.
You're definitely
That's
gonna
a
need.
deal.
You're definitely gonna need that Manscaped,
deal.
right?
Yeah. You gotta
For the
shave
corners
up around
because
that.
that's gonna be.
It's a mess out there. That's a
Yeah.
mess out there.
Yeah.
I'd say what's gonna be an even bigger mess is the beaches. Like
Putting
this
from
summer.
the rough. Yeah.
The beaches this summer, like everybody's gonna look. Every family is gonna look shitty, white, and out of shape.
Bro, I can't. I'm skipping.
Oof.
I'm skipping summer, but
I can't.
I think next summer I should be good to go.
I'm going to take a good month off of drinking too, just because every day you're like, all right, great, it's quarantine, no big deal. It's quarantine, no big deal. Fuck it, it's quarantine. I think we're all done with it now, and I'm like, man, I feel like shit. You know?
Yeah.
And even though it's only seltzers and things like that, you're just like, man, I can't fucking do it anymore. You know, I can't do it anymore, Jabes.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take a month off. And just fucking
Month.
Yeah, a good month.
Dry month, huh?
Why not?
Wow.
I'm not alcohol isn't my end all be all.
I won't be joining you.
No, why? We know that, James.
Yeah, we do know that.
You got to have that glass of wine. It's at the end of the evening.
I have to, but I don't drink a bunch, and I don't drink before my alcohol alarm goes off. So
yeah. So you're good.
I mean,
you keep it pretty respectful.
I keep it pretty respectful.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. That's why I'm saying I don't think it would make that big of a difference if I didn't. Right? Like I didn't really drink last night, and I feel like shit today. Do you know what I mean? Didn't sleep very well, puffy. So it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What is the point?
What is the point?
Yeah, you're better on it.
Definitely.
Yeah, you're better on it for sure. Me, I don't really care. My first thing is like, all right, cool. Like after getting off a long flight, I was like, man, I could use a sandwich. I could really use a Sammy right now.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
You were like, oh, I just want to get a glass of wine. I was like, man, I could really
No.
use a Sambo right now. Jersey Mike's.
Mm-hmm.
That place is surprisingly delightful.
Yeah.
They're not a sponsor, but I wish they were.
Who owns that place? It's a Fred, right?
Yeah, it's not Mike. It's definitely not a Mike, which is surprising.
And I thought it would be.
Yeah.
The owner or founder even is like I won't make Giorgio find this, but I think the founder is a Fred? Peter.
Oh, it's a Peter.
Peter Cancro?
Cancro.
Sank?
Yeah, Jersey Cancro.
Words.
Doesn't sound as Jersey Peters. Doesn't sound as good, you know?
No. 12-inch Peters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll take a 12-inch Peter, please.
Didn't really work out. So smart on his point, for sure.
To really change that up. But look, man, he's got 1,600 stores right now, that guy. And they're popping up everywhere. I'm a big fan, James.
Me and my friend had a joke. We went to this Jersey Mike opened up in Ventura, which was like huge for us.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this guy that worked there that was like, there's people that work, and I love it, but they take a lot of pride in like cashier job or like subs or something like this. And the guy knew so much about Jersey Mike's and like the origin story and like everything about it. We were like, dude, is that Mike's boy? That's fucking Mike's boy. So every time we'd go in, we'd be like, oh, Mike's boy's here. Like, is that his son? Like the way that he, A, took pride in his work, but B, like researched the family of the like owner of the chain restaurant he worked for. Love it.
Amazing, yeah.
That's Mike's boy.
Yeah.
It had to be. Illegitimate, at least.
At least. You got to take pride in your work.
You have to take pride in your work, and we did love it. I'm not making fun of him, but gosh, he would tell you every time too, like really give you the rundown of the new stuff that they're doing, and
really?
We might be
Jersey
toasting.
Mike's?
We might be toasting soon.
That's great.
We're gonna have to talk to corporate, but I'm not sure. And I'm like, gee, bro, like I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm happy
but
for
I
you.
appreciate your enthusiasm.
I'm happy for you.
Appreciate the man you've become.
Yeah. Mike's boy.
Mike's boy.
Hey.
We knew a guy growing up who they owned 43 Little Caesars. Because you can franchise Little Caesars. So they had owned 43 Little Caesars. They're rich as fuck.
That's a flex for sure.
And I was like, shit. Later on in life, because Peyton Manning owns like 40-something Papa John's too.
Right.
So there's something in there in the pizza industry that we don't know about, but get on it.
I mean, I think your overhead and, your food cost is fairly low depending on what you're doing, right? And what you're charging for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we all loved Little
good,
Caesars, and we were like, oh, man, that's amazing.
Especially Little Caesars. Like,
oof.
The overhead on that, like no delivery. I think they do now,
bread?
but like no delivery, no nothing. They would just sit in those hot boxes, right? Waiting for you.
Yeah.
Somehow made it better. Like I wanted them a little more rubbery. Yeah.
Sure.
And we used to be a Domino's family, but Domino's has really been
Yeah. I've always loved
Slippin'.
Little Caesars. Just as a child. Mm-hmm. Love it. And then I actually knew someone who ate the crazy bread and was put on a 5150 cycled. They went crazy. They just absolutely lost their minds. Ended up in a mental ward for the 13 years after that. I knew you would break on that, James. I knew.
If you kept going, yeah. But initially, no, I wasn't into it. When you first started on it, I just thought, this fucking dick, right? But yeah, if you keep on something long enough, I will eventually laugh at the ridiculousness of how long you're going.
Yeah.
With the joke.
They made a movie about it. That was what Shutter Island was based on. DiCaprio was in. So nice to shed some light on that because people are out in the streets going crazy at Little Caesars too.
Right. Right.
I want to talk about drive-in movie theaters popping up everywhere. These little pop-ups that are.
Yeah. Are they like real drive-in? No.
So it's the ones that the big blow-up ones they have, like they blow up the screen. But there is actual like drive-in movie theaters that are still out there.
They're kind of like reopening.
Well, they
always
have been open, yeah, but they're back in business now, and everybody's going to them. Now, this I love. Like, this is one thing about the fucking quarantine that I actually love.
Oh,
I've always
yes.
loved going to drive-in movie theaters. It's my like weird fantasy in life is just to own one of those things.
Oh my
play
God.
a bunch of weird movies there, but
It'd be a dream.
there's a reason why they're out of business, and I'm not really sure why. I think the land taxes or something. You have to have a lot of land.
Sure. Yeah.
Property taxes.
Yeah.
Coupled with all the other bullshit of insurance and everything else. But God damn it, I love them. A friend of mine took a picture. He was at a real drive-in theater, and I was jealous. I used to go all the time in college. There was one maybe 20 minutes outside of campus, and I was like, this is the fucking way. So I'd like to see a resurgence in that. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, we used to go as kids, and we would go like bring Winnebago and like set up on the roof.
Yeah.
And then open the car from the back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Cheech Marin was there one time.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Was he blazing in his car?
So, no, he was just like a dad at that point. He was like playing catch with his kid.
Cheech
But-
Marin was?
Yeah.
No shit.
Well, when you live in California and surrounding areas, like, as weird as it sounds, you're going to always see someone mildly famous
yeah, that's true.
somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Because they live in California.
Right.
They're doing normal shit. So it was just one of those things where like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Cheech Marin like was like playing catch with him and stuff.
Yeah. You were like, oh, hey, what's up,
Crazy.
Cheech?
And my parents were super stoners, right? So it was like, I'm sure they were like freaking out. They didn't, but I'm sure they were like, holy shit, that's fucking Cheech and Chong. Like, I think about how I talk about my kids and what they're doing, right? Where I'm just like, I'm sure they were just like, my fucking kid is playing catch with Cheech Marin.
Yeah.
This is fucking crazy, right?
The one time I saw Cheech.
Oh, Cheech?
Yeah, I saw Cheech out one time. And the weird thing for me was, you're right. He is a father.
Yeah,
and
he's been
grown
a
up now.
father for a long time, though. So, like, he's been,
Yeah.
like, after he was Cheech and Chong with, like, the mustache and the long hair, whatever, pretty quickly after that, he was, like, Dad Cheech.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Bozo ring forever
B-ring,
now.
Yeah, that B ring. But Dad and,
Normal dude.
yeah,
But chill
totally
still.
normal dude.
Like, seems just, like,
Same
chill.
with Tommy Chong. He's a fucking totally normal dude.
Yeah, but he's still getting arrested and shit for selling bongs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, he has not actually become a dad or anything. I mean, I think he has, but, like,
he's a father, yeah.
He is a father, but I don't think he's, like, a
Because the
dad.
son was selling bongs with him. So
Cool.
he got
Cool.
arrested.
The family biz.
Yeah. The son got arrested too.
Yeah,
So-
nice. Love to hear it. Fathers and sons hanging out together. I love it. No
But I
matter
think-
what you're doing.
I think Cheech did a bunch of like TV though. He was
Yeah,
always in
and I think
television
he still
shows and
does.
shit.
Yeah. He kind of always steadily worked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is strange when you see them out and you're like, oh man, you used to smoke weed over and over and over again.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway.
Cheech
at the drive-in.
I didn't know
It's a good memory.
I didn't know that Cheecher was gonna pop up today. You know?
Yeah. You never know. You know what I mean? Memories.
Memories, yeah. Just memories.
In the corners of my mind, and they really are. I don't like remember my life until I'm triggered.
Why would you at that point,
Yeah.
Why would you?
I don't know.
The last one I want to talk about today was there was some footage that popped up of Jake Paul
Oh, what?
looting at a mall.
Was he looting or just walking around? Like, let's get it.
He released a statement that said, "Hey man, I was just walking around
Yeah.
videoing inside this
Yeah,
mall."
yeah.
They had to break in. Somebody broke into the mall, and
Somebody
went in
did, and then he walked
afterwards
in.
with his
Yeah,
buddies
yeah.
and was videotaping everything, and it was just like, "Hey man, you made $17 million last year. Did you need to be at that mall? Did you need to be going in and
Yeah, like go to a protest. Like you don't need to go into a mall where people are like fucking shit up, right?
Yeah,
Or-
you know what's weird about him is like even with the mask, because he was wearing a mask. Even with the mask
yeah.
on, you still knew it was Jake Paul. You're
Yeah.
just like, come
Yeah.
on, dude.
Yeah. Something
What are we
about
doing?
those little fuckers, like you can just tell.
Yeah, what are we doing? We also need to pray for the Instagram models today. Hashtag prayers for them because they can't
I
post
know.
anything today.
It is rough.
What's gonna happen? I wonder if one of them will break on through to the other side, and then they'll just be like, "Fuck you,"
If who will?
The Instagram models today.
Oh, okay. And just I mean, they can post something if they want.
Yeah. Have you seen the Instagram model's protest pictures?
Mm-mm.
Oh, those are great. One link to TMZ yesterday where the cops were like, hey, they were telling her what to spray paint on the wall. Mm-hmm. And they were like, I mean, you could see the photographer and all that shit. Whoever the 4 or 5 cops are from the LAPD who are encouraging this girl, they were kind of they were making fun of her and shit, but like they also didn't stop her, so they're going to be reprimanded by this. But
wow,
got to get those pics in. Got to hashtag get those protest pics in, you know.
Like that?
Yes. So if you go and look at the footage on TMZ, it's pretty hilarious. Where you're just like, really? Just a white girl down in Los Angeles, or so it looked like Santa Monica, trying to get that last Instagram post in, you know?
Yeah.
Trying to get it in. We're back, kids. We appreciate everybody being back with us.
Yes.
Took a couple days off, which was nice. I know it's nice for you, Japes.
To take some days off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, hey man, I'm fucking exhausted. We went for a strong 2 months of going every single day.
Yeah.
And so I think our new schedule, by the way, is we are going to go Monday through Thursday, every single day, and keep it going.
Yeah.
Well, minus
for
one
as long
day,
as
so
you
Japes
guys
can get some rest.
Want us to, and as long as you are
love the show
continuing to watch, which it seems like you are, and we love hanging out with you guys, the Nooners.
The Nooners, yeah. And the Noon group. And thank you for rating the show on iTunes. Subscribe to Ross Patterson Revolution on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you can get it. You just go give it a quick 5-star rating and a review. Somebody wrote in on the boards here, because we go live on YouTube usually around nooner every day. But somebody just wrote in on the boards. They said, the entire world is a crime corner right now. And I was like, that is very true.
It's very true.
It is very true. I want some sports to come back. I want something other than what we're seeing over and over on the news again. Some sports, some shit. We're not going to see TV for a while. New shit on television or whatever, but something else that people can get into and enjoy and hopefully get back to some form of normalcy. But this will be our normalcy here. We're going to go, 4 days a week. Monday through Thursday. And Japes, you look great today.
Oh, no.
You're not affected by the quarantine.
Oh, no. I am.
I look like dog shit.
No, we both look like
dog shit. A friend of mine told me over the weekend, too. He's like, God, you look terrible. And I was like, I feel terrible.
Who said that?
Xander. And I was like, you fucker. And I was like, but I know it. I feel terrible, where it's just like, man, I've not been able to work out. And I was like, and he was in shape, but he's, again, no kids, all that other shit.
No kids.
He's
all the time in the world.
Getting electrode shocks on his muscles, which that's a fun thing with a personal trainer. Cryo chambers, electronic shocks, everything.
Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's next in that world. Just putting a shock, like a dog collar on.
Just doing it in your sleep, basically.
Yeah, just shocking yourself.
Just working out in your sleep at that point.
Maybe putting invisible dog fencing around your refrigerator and your pantry, and then every time you get close, it just shocks the shit out of you.
I will say he doesn't look as good as he should. For not. Do you know what I'm saying? So we're happy that he looks good, right? But he could look a lot better for how much fucking time he has on his hands.
Yeah. That is the one thing I'll never get over is people who don't have kids. And I'm just like, what are you doing, dude? What are you fucking doing with all your time? No, what are you doing with all your time?
Because
there were some people we met up with in some of these meetings who didn't have kids, and they were like, man, just been making myself a better person and all this other shit. And I was like, great. Well, what have you done with the other 23 hours of your day? Because it is clearly not what we're doing.
Right.
And that's always hilarious.
But we're happy for you.
Yeah.
We're happy for you. I would say maybe go more to the gym.
Yeah. Maybe.
For him, this guy that said that. I would maybe, since he has time, pop in a couple extra days.
But Austin was Austin. It's always awesome there.
What is what?
Austin is Austin still. You know
Austin
what I'm saying?
Is Austin. Oh, okay.
Still awesome there. Yeah. Nothing changed with all the shits. And we had as much fun as we possibly could.
We had much fun as we possibly could. And
It was nice to have dinner with some friends, cook out, and do some other shit.
Sure. That was fun.
In another part of the country, and it was great.
Dakota's was fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. Thank you so much for tuning in every day with us. The audio show goes up right after the video show, so we usually pop it up around 1:30, 2-ish every single day, and the audio will be up immediately afterwards. That way we can go live with you guys on YouTube every day. We missed you. Glad to be back on air, James. Feel refreshed. Feel strong. For Jessie Wiseman, a.k.a. The Jables, I'm Ross Patterson. This is The Revolution. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.